Welcome back to the Do You Know Ball podcast. I am Pap, joined alongside Mr. Stevens. Stevens, say hello.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's staying nice and warm in this brisk winter.
Yep, definitely been some cold weather outside, but we are unfortunately down one host today. Mr. DeGennaro is sick, but he will hopefully be back for the next pod, I'm assuming. So we're wishing him a speedy recovery. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about today. A lot of topics to get into. We're still waiting on a lot of MLB news. There's still a lot of free agents out there that still need to sign. But here we're going to talk about all the latest and everything that's been going on. So, Johnny, why don't you kick us off with some Giants news?
Well, the Giants won. Everybody knows they beat the Raiders, and some people are very upset that we no longer have the number one pick. And to all you people that feel that way, I don't understand why you do feel that way. I don't know why picks are so overvalued. I don't know why we talk about them like they're the holy grail. They're not. The Giants, also the Jets, have had top 10 first round picks for the last 10 years. Giants 8, the Jets 10, and they still suck. So why are we talking about this like it's the end of the world? It's not. It's the same thing that we were talking about earlier. They need a coach. That's it. Stop trying to find new things to talk about. That's what this is. You're bored. We suck. I get it. There's not much to be excited about. So we have to be excited. We act like we have to be excited about the draft, but we don't have to be. We need a coach. We have the talent. We have Jackson Dart. We have Cam Scatterbo. We have Malik Neighbors coming back. Yes, there's some additions that need to be made, but they can be made regardless of what pick we have. We can get a number two receiver. We can get another tight end. We can buff up the secondary. We don't need all this overhaul of picks. We need a coach. That's the bottom line. I'm going to say that till the end of the world, till we get a coach, until I see if Joe Shane's probably going to stay here. I have my thoughts on Joe Shane, but he's not probably not going anywhere. So we need to accept that and just focus on what we need. Stop distracting ourselves. The Jets, they can have their picks. They have their picks. They can talk. I'm not a Jets fan. I don't care. We have talent. We need a coach. We need a guy that has a winning culture, that disciplines our players, and has a winning mentality and knows how to win and close out games. So, that's the bottom line for me. Like, I'm tired of hearing about this tanking. I'm sick of it. We've been tanking for 10 years. 10. And we're not
Yeah,
any better.
yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not much of a football guy, but I still have some thoughts and some opinions on this whole ordeal that happened over the weekend. I know a lot, like you said, a lot of the Giants fans wanted obviously the Giants to lose to get the number one pick. But I heard like, and I'll mention this because of my position. Um, I told you this off the air, and I'll bring it up on the air. There was a lot of rumors. There was the rumor mill was going about Jackson Dart being potentially moved or traded if the Giants lost and they got the number one pick to get Mendoza. I don't know. I really don't know if that would have made a difference. I doubt it because Jackson Dart is a really good quarterback. I think you found the guy. I think you found solved the quarterback problems. There was a lot of things that happened this year that led to the way that the Giants or the record that the Giants have now. You know, injuries, countless injuries. Neighbors didn't play the full year. Scatterbo got hurt. Dart was up and down throughout the year. I'm sure there was a bunch of other injuries that I'm not even mentioning right now, but all those injuries aside, I feel like they just got really unlucky, and I've said that many times on this pod, off air. I feel like they just really did. They got unlucky this year. I think they have a lot of talent to build around, so I don't think that while some people thought getting Fernando Mendoza would be the answer, and maybe trading away Dart to get other assets, whether that be picks or ready talent now in the NFL, whatever it may have been, wherever the package may have been for Dart. Some people think may that if they traded Dart, got Mendoza, they'd be a better team. I don't think that'd be true. I think they have the foundations for a good team. I think they just got to build upon what they have, and that's just more along the lines of what you've been saying. I don't know, Johnny. What was your reactions? Because I know you've seen the rumors if the Giants were to have lost that game. Um, what was your reaction to the rumors?
The stupidest rumors I've ever heard in my life. Stop. Why do you guys think Fernando Mendoza is a guarantee? He's not. He's in college. He's done nothing in the NFL yet. Stop talking about. We talk about these guys like they're free agents. They're not. They're kids in college. I mean, oh my God, I don't understand. Like quarterbacks, we talk every year. Like there's a guy that's like hyped up, and most of the time they don't pan out. JJ McCarthy won the Natty with Michigan. He sucks. He's not good. That could happen with Fernando Mendoza. Don't be surprised if that happens. Like, I just don't understand. Quarterbacks need to be put in a position to win. And even if the Jets, first of all, the Jets are talking about trading all their picks that they got. They traded what's his name, Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams for picks, and now you want to throw all that out the door for a quarterback on a team that's not even close to ready to win. They don't have anything around him. You need a team to build around them. Every successful team that has a successful quarterback has winning pieces around him. Drake May, perfect example. Great coach, great receivers, just a great overall team around him. Uh, what's his name? Brock Purdy, low draft pick. No one knew who this guy was, but guess what? You put him around George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, and you're going to go to a couple Super Bowls. Like, you can't, a quarterback out of the draft can't just carry a crap team, especially the Jets, right? And especially the Giants. Like, I mean, like we saw it. Like, even Jackson Dart was playing well. Guess what? They lost because their coaching staff was incompetent. So, I mean, you want to talk about, oh, yeah, we're going to get this guy. He's going to turn around. No, he's not. The team's
Well,
not ready to win.
you know what?
You need a lot of work to do.
You know what though? It might have been pretty interesting if everybody was healthy and everybody was on the field for the whole season.
Mm,
Because and I'm only saying I'm not saying like they would have been over 500 or a 500 team. I'm saying they would probably be closer to like what the Dolphins kind of are, like their record right now, right? Like aren't the Dolphins like what are they 8-9 now because they won on Sunday? Or I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know their record specifically. If you want to look that up while I'm talking, you can. But um, I feel like it's something like that. Something like that. Like maybe they could have been really good if injuries aside, like if they were all healthy. Um, and I think they would have had a better record certainly than they did now, and they would definitely not be in contention for the worst record in the league in the number one pick. Um, like I said, it's just really unlucky, and again, it goes back to what we were talking about before. Like, I mean, you see it with other quarterbacks too, like Cam Ward, right? Number one overall pick last year, plays on the Titans, and
Yeah.
there's
How's
nothing
that
around
going?
him. It's the same situation. There's nothing around him. Am I wrong
I
on that?
mean, people just don't know what they're saying. Like, they think they're like Shadur Sanders. We were idiots for taking Dart over Shadur. Yeah. How's that working out? Hmm? Yeah. There you go. I mean, I can't. I hate the draft. I hate it.
Granted, Shador didn't really get a chance to play that much this year. Like he played maybe a few games towards the back half, and it really, at that point, it really didn't matter for the Browns. So,
Sure. Well, he played in preseason, and he's not the it factor like Jackson Dart is. He's just not.
well, I just don't think that
So
he's shown enough. I mean, Jackson Dart's been given the opportunity to show what he's got like week in and week
sure.
out because he's been the starter. But when you start like Joe Flacco and you don't really give Sanders like a chance to actually, you know, grow and develop. You know, if I was the Browns this year, I'm starting Shador all day. And maybe I have a different mindset than them, but I want my young guy to grow. And maybe like, Joe Flacco could have helped him out, veteran quarterback, has a lot of experience in the league, helped him out along the way instead of him watching on the sidelines while Joe Flacco took the field every Sunday. So I feel like they could have handled it a lot better. I feel like that's kind of like a different situation than the Giants, but like I again, Giants really unlucky this year, but like I don't think trading or getting the number one pick would have been maybe the answer. I think you just at this point you have your key pieces. On offense, your key pieces are Scattaboo, Dart, and Neighbors, among some other names, I'm sure too. There's Theo Johnson, stuff like that. But like, there's other things you have to do to beef up the offense, to beef up the defense. You got Burns on defense. I loved what I don't know if you did. Johnny, because you're a
Oh
Giants
yeah, of
fan,
course.
but I
Yeah,
loved
of course.
what Brian Burns put on the field this year.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Abdul Carter, you got a lot of young, good pieces, and I feel like now the only answer is to build around that, and like you said, get a coach. And
Yep.
if
It's not
if
that
they do
complicated.
that,
It really
no,
isn't.
it's really not. And s- speaking of not that complicated, I'm gonna just transfer this into baseball, into the Mets land. And I know it's been a week since I've been here. I've been dealing with my own injuries or my own sickness myself. Um, but I'm back and I'm ready to talk about certain things that we haven't addressed yet. Now, while I was away, the Mets did sign Jorge Polanco. And I'm gonna not talk about the signing because I don't care that we signed him for 2 years, 40 million. It's not about the signing in general. I would have been a-okay with this deal. Granted, if I knew for sure that he was gonna play DH. But I'm sure that you've seen a lot of shit online. Excuse my language, but a lot of stuff online about him playing first base, and it's confirmed he's going to play first base for the New York Mets. Johnny, do you want to know? We've talked about this too. He's played one game for the Mariners at first base. One major league game, and it was for one at bat. It wasn't like it was an inning, a game. It was one at bat. He played first base. So, no prior experience at first base in high school or in college. I've done the research on that. He's been a middle infielder for majority, if not his whole career. He is not a first baseman, and I don't know where Stearns gets the balls to be like, you know what? Let's just try him out at first. And it's like I'm gonna roll this into more rumor mill because it's not just this that's absurd. It's also some of the guys that I see that we're aggressive for that are absurd. A couple weeks back, actually not a couple weeks back, probably last week around Christmas time, right before Christmas, there was a tweet from SNY saying that the Mets were interested in entertaining a possible deal for Ketel Marte. Johnny, tell me where Ketel Marte makes sense. Although he's a great hitter, great player, anybody
Well,
would
I
be lucky
mean,
to have him on the team. Tell me where that makes sense on the Mets right now.
but you guys already signed Simeon. He's gonna play second base.
hmm yeah,
Lindor's a shortstop. He can't play shortstop. Yeah, I don't know.
he's not going to play first base. I'm telling you that for sure right now because I guess we have Jorge
Well,
Polanco
I
to do
mean,
that.
I don't. That's not happening. You guys aren't
So the
spending,
the
and
only option for him, I think, on our team would be to play left field, and I don't know the last time he's played the outfield in general in the MLB.
well, yeah. I mean,
So it's like, what are we doing? What's the
I think
plans?
it's
What
pretty.
are
I think I know what the plan is. You guys, I think all you Mets fans are trying to make some like hypothetical plan. I think it's kind of right in front of you. First of all, you guys aren't spending, and a lot of people on the fan and Twitter saying, "Oh, I still think they're going to spend." If you guys were going to spend, you would have re-signed Pete. You would have re-signed Diaz. That's where the money.
not,
That's how
but
you
not
spend.
necessarily though. Like
Yeah,
I could
yeah, it is.
no, because like if we were gonna, there's options for us to do. There's avenues for us to take, but we're obviously not gonna do all that. Like the Diaz thing, I'm more so upset of over the Alonso thing. But at the same time, like you disrespected because, and I say that because you disrespected Pete. You didn't offer him a contract. You didn't even
Because they
entertain him.
didn't want to
You,
they didn't want to pay him.
but they let him talk to multiple teams. They let him go. They let him do whatever he wanted. They didn't even really entertain it even at the like towards the end of the season or like when they were supposed to during season when there was negotiations during the season. They couldn't get a deal done. So Alonso again did what's best for him. So that's why I'm not so much more mad at that. I'm more mad at Diaz because Diaz we lost over $3 million. Johnny, how could I be mad at? I see you making the face. How could I be mad at Alonso? Tell me. How could
He's
I be
more
mad at the
valuable.
Alonso thing? How could I be mad at the Alonso thing when we didn't
No,
even
I
try?
disagree. Losing
We.
Alonso was way worse than
That's
losing
not what I
Eddie
said.
Diaz.
That's not what I said.
You said you were more upset about Diaz
That's not
than
what I said
Alonso.
though. I'm more yes because of this. hold on. Let me explain. Because of the circumstances. We didn't even try for Alonso. It hurts, yes, but the fact that we were so close to Diaz and $3 million was what separated us from retaining one of the best closers in the game over losing him to the Dodgers. $3 million, and they went out and they spent more collective money on Luke Weaver and Devin Williams. So that's why I'm more so mad about that because
Yeah,
there's reasons behind it. But they didn't. When you don't even try for Pete, how can I be mad? I mean, I obviously it hurts. It
of
stings.
course I'd
It
be mad.
sucks. It's my franchise
You didn't
first baseman.
pursue a top five first baseman in all of baseball. Yeah, I'm mad that you didn't
I'm
try to get that.
I'm livid. But there's again, unlike Diaz, unlike the reliever market, there is an option out there for the Mets. Okamoto's out there. I would be more than happy if they
Yeah,
put
there's no
Okamoto.
option for a first baseman.
Buddy, Okamoto's a first baseman.
I'm telling he's not yet, but relievers are
I
replaceable. I don't care
I
how good
look,
you
I've
are.
seen his stats and I've seen some things about him. I don't know everything about Okamoto, but he looks decently solid and I would feel I mean, but again, it's also like now with the way I'm talking, now you see like you see with like how I'm talking, it's like fandom. It's like it it would make me feel better, but I don't know the best thing for the team is for them to get Okamoto, get an outfielder, gets a couple guys for the rotation, and add another bullpen arm. But they're not going to do all those
Yeah,
things.
I
It's
mean,
it's
I understand.
impossible. They've put
Yeah, I know.
themselves
There's things I want the Yankees to do, and they're not going to do it. Like
they've put themselves, Johnny, in such a hole. And like the plan you said the plan is right out in front of them. They're not going to spend. I
they
don't
would
think
have
that's the
spent
plan.
on Pete.
How does that
Who are they
make
going to spend?
sense though? How does
Who
that
are they
make
going to
sense?
spend?
How do you go from last year signing Juan Soto to the biggest contract ever, and then you're going to tell me this year we're not spending?
Because now their plan probably is to build around Soto and have him be the heart of the team, and rather
But
it be
how,
Pete.
okay,
And
build around Soto, but that requires you to spend. How are you not spending right
I
now?
understand. Well, what are you going to spend money on offensively? Tucker's still around. They've not been in talks about Kyle
Offensively,
Tucker.
look, I'm not looking at Kyle Tucker because I think that's unrealistic. As a looking
Okay, so who else is there?
from a perspective, from my perspective, it's unrealistic. But I personally would love to put Cody Bellinger in left field. I would
Do
love
you
to
think
put
they're
Cody
going to do
Bellinger
that?
there. Do I think we're gonna do that? More than not, more likely than not. No, I don't think we're
There
gonna
you
do that.
go. So what are they going to do?
What I think is the Yankees are gonna get Bellinger back. That's my prediction for Bellinger. But again, it's a lot of different things that they need to do, and they've just been screwing up. Stearns has been screwing up all along the way. Every single turn he takes, it's a screw up.
I think he's operating like a small market GM. That's
But
what
we're
he
not,
is.
Johnny. New
I'm
York is
sorry.
not
That's
a
just what
small
I
market
think.
team. The Mets are not a small
I
market team.
I I don't think he cares. I don't. He doesn't care what you think. He doesn't care what the fans think. That's what he's gonna be.
Well, you know what? At a certain point, things are gonna have to be done or said because like it's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. You wanted change. I get it. I get it. We wanted change. We wanted a different lineup, a different look, but that doesn't require you blowing up all your tenured Mets. And speaking of blown up tenured Mets, guess who else got traded? Jeff McNeil. Not to say that I'm really pissed off about that now because
They're
it,
cleaning
it doesn't
house.
really matter. That I actually wanted McNeil to go. There's no room really for McNeil on this team. There's too many young guys in our farm system and other options that could be had to play outfield, infield, better options than Jeff McNeil. So I'm happy that good for Jeff McNeil. You know what? I appreciated and I loved every second of him being on the team. I was a big Jeff McNeil fan. 2022 unforgettable year, NL batting champ. I will never forget some of the things that he's done for the team. He's been a really good, asset that we've had, utility guy that we've had for a while now. But it's time for him to go. And like again, I wasn't really when I saw the trade and I saw we got a nice or not a nice, but like get just like a regular like minor leaguer back for McNeil along with like us like paying some of his contract. Like I you know what? it is what it is. How much do you really think you're going to get for Jeff McNeil? That's what I could say to all the Mets fans that could be complaining or are complaining about the fact that we got a rookie ball pitcher, and that's pretty much it for Jeff McNeil. What are you expecting? Like he's not. It's not prime Jeff McNeil. I don't think he's going to ever go back to NL batting champ Jeff McNeil. He's going to put up solid numbers. I mean, he always does, but he's going to be a nice guy for the A's to have. He's going to be a
Well,
nice guy for the A's to have. So he's on their team now. He's you know what? They have a lot of young pieces. I think the A's are going to be really fun to watch. Um, and they're only going to get better over time. I mean, Kurtz put up an unbelievable rookie year, and he didn't even start the year with the A's. So I can only imagine what he's going to do in year two, and then like Lawrence Butler and all those guys. So I don't know, Johnny. Before I like continue to blabber on about this Jeff McNeil trade, what are your thoughts on it?
whatever. I mean, I kind of thought like all the Mets had to do was just focus on your pitching, and I was like, okay, you let Diaz walk. He's good, but you can replace him. I'm sorry, any real closer is replaceable. And then you re-sign Pete. I don't know what you do with the outfield. Uh, they have prospects, I guess. You give them a chance, and then just go fix your rotation, and you'll be in a better chance than you were last year. Because that's why, let's face it, if you have, yes, the offense had its times where they sucked. Every baseball team on this planet has times where the offense just goes cold. The Yankees did it. Every team does it. Like that's just baseball. I guarantee you, if the Mets had two starting pitchers last year, you make the playoffs. Maybe even one.
I can guarantee you that. Like
One gets you
if we
five more. One gets you
so
five more wins. Another guy gets you what? Maybe four or five. Like that. That's how that works. They would have made. It's not that. I don't get why people overcomplicate things, bro. Like it's not a fact, but it's pretty close to a fact.
look, I don't in terms of pitching, and that's like a whole nother subject, but like in terms of pitching, um
And you
Nolan
keep
Mc,
Nimmo.
what'd you say? Sorry.
I would have kept Nimmo if that was the case.
Well, look, the Nimmo thing, look, I can understand that too if there was a plan behind it. Like if they went out and got someone better like Bellinger, that yeah, I understand that because look, Nimmo, while he's a terrific player and God am I gonna miss him. Um his defense is more so of the problem than anything. It's not really more so his fielding, it's his
Oh,
arm. It's his arm. He can't throw. And like every time,
how
it's
many games are they
frustrating.
going to lose because he can't throw?
Johnny, it's a lot of key games. I remember watching a lot of key games because he's got a noodle. He's got a noodle in the outfield. But again, Cody Bellinger, and if you're gonna disagree with me, you're out of your mind. Cody Bellinger obviously is the 110% better player than Brandon Nimmo.
No, yeah, I agree.
So I understood that deal because you got Simeon, who's really good defensively and could potentially be good offensively. So you upgrade and you lock down a good second baseman, and then you added Bellinger to replace Nimmo. Then that would make sense. Then I'd be like, okay, but the other deals like Polanco playing first, and then just not getting Diaz back and signing Weaver and Williams instead of Diaz doesn't make sense. None of what Stearns is doing really makes sense, and all the rumor mill, sorry, of us getting, we're interested in Framber, we're entertaining Luis Robert, whatever. Um, it's just a bunch of BS to me because until I see a notification of an actual move, I'm not believing anything at this point because it's all talk. And any move that has been made and has been announced, maybe aside from the Jeff McNeil trade, because at that point it really didn't matter too much. But besides that, every move has seemed to be just bad, 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 bad. So I mean, they really gotta change what's going on and change their mindset and actually go out and spend money. I think the market as a whole needs to move, and that could get started as quickly as like January 6th, I believe, because Okamoto and um, I'm gonna butcher this name so badly. I apologize if I do. But Tatsuya Ima is also another guy that they both have to sign by I believe either like the 5th or 6th of January. So they're gonna be moved, and you know what? Guess who's a strong contender for them now? The White Sox. The White Sox are a strong contender for Ima, the pitcher. And you know what? I mean, if they get him, it's not really like a you know what? It's not really like a needle mover. Just like Munetaka Murakami wasn't really a needle mover, like because they don't have the pieces around him. But you know, it's cool. It's a low risk, high reward, and I think that's what they're gonna do with Ema if they do end up offering him a contract and getting him. I don't know, Johnny. What's your reaction to this news?
I don't really care if they go to the White Sox. The White Sox suck. No one talks about them. They're not relevant. They're not competitive. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't care because then I know they're not going to be on a good team to, threaten my team or, anybody else. But, that's besides the point. I want Tatsuya Ima on the Yankees. So I would be a little
I want him on
disappointed
the Mets.
to not see him sign with us because, I'm not going to get in the Yankees, but I've made it clear that you can never have too much starting pitching. I actually think that's probably the most important thing. I mean, offense really in the playoffs just relies upon how hot you are. And if you're hot, you're hot. If you're not, then you're gonna get bounced. Like that's how it works. If you have pitching, you can do your best though to stop the other team from scoring runs, and that's how you win games. Which is why I don't understand why the Mets just didn't direct their attention to starting pitching. But
Look, I don't get
whatever.
it. I don't get it either. And not to like harp on the Mets too much for this podcast, but like starting pitching should have been a priority. It should have been the number one priority going into this offseason. Aside from making moves to the roster, getting Alonso or Diaz back, that should have been number one priority because you saw last year with no starters, with you literally had to call up your entire farm system to join your rotation because you didn't have what it took. You didn't have a solid rotation, and you relied on these young guys. And you know what? They did as best as they could, and they did really damn good. I will tell you that they did really damn good. Nolan McLean, I love what I saw from him. He looks disgusting. Everything about him, his break on the ball, his curveball, his fastball, his change in elevation from top to bottom, it is disgusting. I like what I see from him. I think he could be a two to three guy in a rotation, potentially a one at some point. It's just a matter of how he could develop. But aside from that, like, like a lot of the young guys in our rotation are really solid. Brandon Sproat, Jonah Tong. I'm sure, like they all the young guys in the rotation are pretty damn good, and they just need to develop. So that's why like a lot of people have been like looking at our team for that, like in trade terms. Like I know the Diamondbacks are. I mean, again, doesn't make sense for the Cattell deal, but they're looking for young starting pitching. I've seen on Twitter that they've been looking, feeling out the best deal that they want is young starting pitching, and the Mets got a lot of it, a lot of MLB ready young starting pitching, but they need an ace. They need an ace. They need an ace or maybe two. And if I mean, like that's just so hard though, because the market's not there. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna harp on the Mets anymore. I'm gonna shift focus onto the White Sox. You know what? If they get Ema, good for them.
Yeah, if they get
Um,
them, they get them.
good for
Whatever.
them. You know what? You can honestly tip your cap to the White Sox because you know what? A lot of the small market teams and teams like the Rockies and other organizations, especially the Rockies though, focusing especially on the Rockies are not doing anything. So at least the White Sox are doing something to the point where I'm seeing if, if Murakami pops off and has a terrific year, you don't think that they're gonna feel out some trades for him in the deadline this year? So it's again, they signed him for cheap, for really cheap. If he blossoms and they want to keep him, they keep him. They keep him for the 2 years. But if he goes absolutely insane, I don't think that they're not gonna at least feel out offers for him and try to make their overall team better. So I think that was a really good move for them, and I think this could be a really good move for them because you know what? If Ema does the same thing, and he's really good when he comes to the White Sox, and he boosts up his trade value and pitches really well. They're probably going to do the same thing with him and try to feel out offers for him. And then you know what? The White Sox will probably overall be a better team. They have potential to be a better team. So I can't hate on it. Like there's certain like Rockies, the Rocket. What have the Rockies done ever? Like I again, besides the last significant move I remember them doing really is getting Chris Bryant, and he doesn't even like being on the team, and he said that openly. So again, I in a way you could tip your hat to the White Sox for at least doing something. Because they're involved with like I said, trades with Luis Robert too. Like I mean, at least they're involved to some degree in the market. That's all I gotta really say on it. But hopefully, we see a deal with Ima and Okamoto soon. They have to sign soon. They have to sign within the next couple days. So hopefully by the next pod we have where they're going, their destinations, where they signed. Um, but yeah, um, Johnny, unless you got anything else to add, that about wraps up episode 72 of the Do You Know Ball podcast, and we will catch you guys next time for episode 73.